What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's your boy Mousy. Gonna be doing a rear tire and chain on my Honda Monkey, so stay tuned.
Mousy Motors.
Alright, so just like you seen in the last video, my tire is still worn down. Got these big old chicken strips on the side. And then also, this chain, I believe that is the OEM one, keeps stretching out, so I'm gonna be replacing that one with a Pro Taper one. It's my first time doing a motorcycle tire by hand is how I'm gonna do it, and the chain should be pretty simple, so we're gonna be replacing both of those. Alright, so we're gonna be working in the dark right now since it's almost midnight. First thing we're gonna do is loosen this axle nut before we even lift it. This side is a 19mm and the other side is gonna be a 14. So I'm holding the other side and then loosening this side. Then once we got it loose enough, we can just lift it up. Alright, and from here we're just going to lift up the rear of the tire using a stand. When using these, just always be careful. Try to have control of the bike. Always straighten the front handlebars. And then make sure we're nice and even. Just like that. And then I'm just going to move it just a little bit more forward. Right there. Alright, so now we're just going to take off the axle nut completely. And I'm just going to be using my hand tools. Just my wrenches. Alright, now I'm just going to kick the bike into neutral and then spin this tire until we see the master link on here. Down right there. And then we can easily just take out this link and then separate the chain itself. Alright, so now I'm just going to try to get this master link off using a flathead and a small little hammer. Just like that. Alright, now we're just going to take out the link to separate this. Just using a flathead again. Pop out that piece. And then separate this one. And there goes the chain. Alright, so now I'm just going to put it in neutral again. To get that chain all the way out. And there it is. Yep. Super rusty, super stretched, but the gold Pro Taper is going to look really nice on this bike, so I'm excited for that. So now we're just going to tap this axle bolt through. Just get the tire out of the way. Alright, so for the brake caliper itself, it's going to have this slot that you can just let it rest on the rear arm. It'll just sit up in there nice and tight. And then for the tire itself, or actually the spacers, so this is going to be the right hand side of it, right here. There's going to be one spacer in there, it's still in there, so it's all good. It's going to be more of a narrow one on the right hand side. And then when you're looking on the left hand side, it's going to be more of a thicker spacer as far as the diameter of it. But it's going to sit in there like that. So, alright, so just going to remove the sprocket, inspect the bushing behind it. And these are going to be 14 millimeter. And also, so I don't damage the rim or the rotor, I put it on some pieces of wood just to elevate it a little bit and provide that cushioning. And just 4 nuts. And we can lift up. And these are the cush drives. I've heard about these before, but never actually like taken a look at them. But they all look to be intact still. None of them are missing or missing chunks or disintegrating, so those look good. So I'm just gonna remove them for now and then reinstall them later. And then right now would be a good time to just inspect your bearings, make sure they're spinning nicely. And then I'm just gonna clean the surface while I'm here. All right, so now we're gonna release the air out of the tire. I'm gonna remove the valve stem cap and then actually remove the valve stem itself. Have this little tool to remove valve cores. Very little bit of soapy water in this area. Oops. Oh, almost there. Here you go. She's not broken. So now that we got that side, we're just gonna flip it over and do the same thing on this side. Gonna give it a little bit of water and soap again. Gonna do the same thing I did on the last one. I ended up flipping one of the spoons upside down and then kind of pulling up on it. So I put this one upside down so we can get a better grip. And then pulling this one up, this middle one. There it is. Cool. Now we can start taking the tire off. And we're just going to install these protectors for the rim. And then we are going to get a spoon in here. Flip it like that. Put it under the brake rotor. Putting one kind of next to it. You can get under here. Take this one out. maybe not. You just keep going around the tire until you get the bead completely out. Alright, so I got 2 of the rim protectors on. I'm just gonna flip it around and start removing the tire from this side. There it is, completely out. Might have scratched it a little bit, but nope, looks pretty good. Yep. I don't see no scratches, so cool. That was a little bit more harder than I thought it was gonna be, so. Alright, here's the OEM Honda tire right here that I'm gonna be using. Still has the wrapping on it, brand new. Smells like that good old rubber. Alright, so for the new tire, you just want to pay attention to the rotation. For this one, we're going to set it on this side. We want the rotation to be going this way because when it is mounted on the motorcycle, we want it to be going forward. So just pay attention to that rotation, and then we're just going to mount it this way. And then as a lubricant, I'm just going to put some soapy water onto this new tire. Just kind of spread it around just so it the install is a lot easier with some type of lubricant. Just do this side too. We'll just spread it around. And like I said, rotation going this way, and there's a rotation mark right there. All right, let's get started. Alright, there's one side. Alright, same thing on this side. Just some more soapy water. The more the better. The more lube, the better. Just some rim protectors again. Just trying to protect the rims as much as I can. Just so I can keep them decent. Ooh, fuck. Alright, that is it. Now we just gotta get her filled up, get the beads to seal, and throw her back on. Alright, so not gonna lie, definitely scratched her up I think a little bit right here when I was trying to get the last part of the tire on. But I'm not a professional, and I'm not gonna fake it, so. Alright, so now we're just gonna seat the beads. I'm hoping I can get it without having to do anything special with it, just by filling it up. I'm using a Milwaukee tire inflator, so. Alright, so I later realized that I didn't have to separate these two to get it off the wheel itself, so I'm just gonna get this cleaned up real quick and then reattach them together. But you do not have to remove the rotor or this hub piece right here, so my mistake. We're just gonna reassemble this wheel. I'm gonna put in these cush drives. And then now this hub, and this is the piece, or not actually that one, but, and this is the sprocket I did not have to remove, so I'm just gonna reattach that right there onto the top. And then we just have 4 nuts to put back on, and then I'm just gonna torque these in a star pattern. And then we can put the reinstall the wheel onto the motorcycle. So we're just gonna torque these nuts to 24 Newton meters in a crisscross pattern. All right, all good. All right, so now that I got all that torqued, I just wanted to show you guys what I meant by not having to take it off earlier. So I did not have to separate the sprocket from this hub, and you could just pull it off. And then just before I install my new chain, I'm just gonna make sure the sprocket behind here is nice and clean, so I don't install a clean chain onto a dirty sprocket. Just to kind of help with the longevity of it. And I just gotta remove this cover. It's gonna be 2 Allen bolts, and they are size 5s, 5 millimeters. And this is exactly why I pulled this thing off. So this thing is just caked. I have a couple leaves in here as well, so I'm just gonna get this cleaned up. Look at that. Yep. Looks like dirt and grass and stuff. I never pull this off myself, so who knows how long it's been this bad. But just gonna get that cleaned up, and then the sprocket as well, and then we get the new chain on. Alright, and there it is, both parts clean, and now we can go ahead and install the chain. Okay, so before we put the wheel on, gotta put on this wheel spacer. That one's gonna go on this side, and then on this side, it's gonna be this one right here. This side going into the wheel itself. Just like that. Now we can install the wheel. Alright, so I definitely struggled a lot getting this rear wheel back in because of this caliper, and then also the spacers on the wheel. They kept popping out, and I couldn't get I was just struggling getting the rotor lined up in between the pads, and then making sure that this caliper bracket is correctly located in this groove on the inside. Yeah, right there. Alright, so I ended up adjusting the rear wheel all the way forward. As you can see, the adjustment is very minimal right here. So I laid out my chain, and then I verified I have to take out 18 links. So we're going to be doing that. And I did that just because when my chain does stretch, I have like quite a bit of adjustment on the back end that I can do before I have to either remove a link or replace the chain. So I'm going to be doing that. Right here is going to be the starting of the 18th link that we're removing. And we're just going to fit this over the 2 pins. And get the inner screw set in over that pin. We're going to make sure the inner and pretty much both sides of the pin, the holes are open so that the pin can slide through this side as we're pushing it through this way. And then I'm just going to tighten this up just a little bit. Just like that. This is the first time I've ever done this, so don't judge me. Hopefully it doesn't break, as I've seen multiple reviews about these tools breaking pretty easily. So I'm just gonna go ahead, start pressing that pin out. And it feels like it's going through for sure. It's gotten easier, so. And the pin should come out this end right here, this open end. Alright, it's just got tough again, so I'm just gonna back it out. Oh, we got the pin out most of the way. Alright, so I just readjusted it, put a different head on here, and we're gonna see right now. Oh, there it is. We got the pin fully out, so just had to change the head on this. I realized that I didn't have the right adapter, even though I read the instructions, but this needle was getting caught on somewhere on the inside, and kind of putting pressure on one of the plates instead of the pin itself. So I believe me changing the heads allowed this to be more aligned towards the middle of the pin. So the one I did kind of mess up. You can see it's a little bent, and then the tip right there, it just got caught on something. So but yeah, we got the chain removed, or pieces of the chain removed. So now we'll just assemble it. Alright, so now we're just gonna throw on the chain. Route it towards the front. Alright, and to attach these two chains, we're gonna install this master link right here. This is gonna slide into the back part of the chain, just like that. Then we're gonna put on this front cover plate, and as you can see, made in Japan. Install it right there. And the last piece we gotta install is this clip, and this is gonna hold the chain together. And then the head of this, the closed end of this, should be in the rotational direction, so this should always be facing forward once on the top of the chain. And to get these in, you can get some needle nose pliers and just like that, close it together. And now this chain is secured. We just got to adjust it, and we're all done. And we're just gonna throw the covers back on before we adjust the chain. And then here are the adjustments for the chain where they want you to have it. So we're gonna be doing that right now. Alright, so to adjust this chain, we're actually gonna turn these counterclockwise. And if you see, it pulls the axle backwards. So we're just gonna do this evenly on both sides. Alright, so got the wheel adjusted, or the chain adjusted. And it wants 1 inch and 3/8, and we're about there, so 1 inch and 3/8. So that is in spec. I'm done adjusting it, and like I said before, these gonna be your adjustments. Once you have your adjustments in, I've learned this online, but I throw a rag right here in the chain, get it kind of caught like that, and then tighten the axle nut. So And also too, these monkeys have a little arrow on the side of the swing arm right there, and then these lines at the top of the adjustments. And on this side, right before the first line of the adjustment, and on this side, same thing here. So got my line and then the pointer, so same on each side. And then just want to make sure your chain is straight. Hard to tell, but she looks straight. Alright, now we're just gonna get the axle nut tight. We'll hold this side, tighten it with a wrench or a ratchet on the other side. That's about snug right there. And the torque spec for this axle nut, it's gonna be 44 foot-pounds. Just be careful with the bike as you're lifting up, so it can almost want to take the bike off the lift. So, and there it is, torque to 44 foot-pounds. Then just take off our rag. And there she is. Alright guys, just went on a test drive. Big difference with the new tire and new chain. I feel like the rear end feels a lot more like more firm, and has better control. The old chain actually had rattled quite a bit, so less noise as well with the old chain just like rattling. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take it to work today and see how it goes, but everything feels pretty good. I'm happy with the repair, and everything feels better, so I'm gonna call that a dub. But this is Mousy Motors, and I'm out.